we need to define what is statistics. Different authors has given different definition for statistics. But in this course, we will define statistics as science of collecting, summarizing, analyzing, presenting, and interpreting of data. That is, statistics is science. It is a science of what? How to collect scientifically data, how to summarize data scientifically, how to analyze data scientifically, and how to present data scientifically, and how to interpret data scientifically. This is a science. Statistics can be divided into two basic areas. First area we called as descriptive statistics. Second area we called as inferential statistics. In descriptive statistics, what we are doing is, first we are collecting our data. Assume I want to study about something. Assume farmers' income in rice zone. I want to study. Then what I can do, I can contact several farmers. First farmer, second farmer, third farmer, fourth farmer, likewise fifth farmer. I can contact several farmers, and then I will have group of data. First, I can describe or summarize these data using various techniques. Mean, median, likewise. So after summarizing data, we can get some idea about these farmers. With the limited resources, time and money, we cannot collect data from all the farmers, each and every farmers in rice zone. Therefore, what is the possibility? We can select group of farmers and collect data from them. Then these collected data can be summarized, analyzed, and present. It is called as descriptive statistics. Collecting data and summarizing those collected data. Then our original idea is to get an idea about the farmers' population. Farmers' population include all the farmers in rice zone. But due to difficulties, we collected data only from group called as sample. Now, in order to get an idea about all the farmers' status, we can, using these summarized data, descriptive measures, we can predict about the population values, that is entire farmers population, characteristic of entire farmers population. So this part we call as the inferential statistic, that is predicting sample population parameters from sample statistics, we call as the inferential statistics. So you will learn better this thing when we proceed. First, we will give brief introduction about the descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics deal with method of organizing, summarizing, and presenting data in a convenient and informative way. We have to organize, summarize, and present data in convenient and informative way, which give more information. In descriptive statistics, in order to describe a data set, we use two techniques, commonly used two techniques. First technique we called as graphical technique. Second technique we called as numerical technique. For example, assume someone need to get an idea about the weight of student in your batch. So assume this information need within limited time, within half an hour. I guess your batch consists of 150 students, and within half an hour it is difficult to measure the weight of all the students. Therefore, what we can do is we can select group of students and measure their weights within that given time. Assume these are those measurement obtained from 30 selected students. Now, if someone asks, what about the height weight of student of this your batch? Then you have this data. You cannot tell anything from this data. If you give this data set, okay, first student have 48 kilograms, second student have 52 kilograms, likewise, then the person who need information will not get any idea about your weight of student in your batch. In order to give more meaningful information from this data, first we can summarize. We can summarize this data. If I group this data into several categories and find out number of students in each category, it will be more meaningful. So you can say, okay, most of the students in our class has weight of between 65 and 70 kilograms, and only one student has less than 50 kilograms. Only one student has greater than 80 kilograms. Likewise, rather than presenting this data itself, giving this data itself, if you can summarize those data and present in this way, it will be very meaningful. That descriptive statistic is doing that. Describe your data set in meaningful way. This summary provides better information. So even we can present these summaries in graphical form. Rather than looking at that table, in glance, someone get an idea about what is the weight distribution of student in this class. Okay, most of the students has this range of height, and only one student has this range of height. Likewise, so this is a graphical presentation of our data. Then you can analyze your data set. You can calculate mean of your data set. You can calculate median of your data set. You can present lowest value, minimum of your data set, highest value, maximum of your data set, and you can use those summaries to compare between some other group. Assume you want to know whether your weights are different from your juniors or your seniors. Then using these summaries, you can compare rather than compare from data itself. Average weight of your batch is 66.3 kilograms. What is average weight of your batch? Likewise, you can compare. As I explained, inferential statistic deal with the infer the characteristic of population using the sample data. We have sample data here. We have collected data and we have larger population. Now we want to assume here we measure the height of the sample. Now we want to get an idea about the height of population, entire your batch. Then using inferential technique, we can get an idea about, okay, measured height was of the sample is 66.3 kilogram, but using statistical technique, you can infer, okay, population weight is, average weight is somewhere 70 kilograms, likewise. So even sample data is this, population data is, population summary is this. So using inferential technique, you can do this one. This diagram clearly show what is descriptive statistics, drawing sample from population and collecting data of those samples and summarizing those data goes for descriptive statistics and making conclusion about the population from the sample summaries we called as the inferential statistics. Then next we want to define some terms in order to continue. First definition is a variable. Variable has two characteristics. It is an attribute and characteristic vary. Characteristic of this attribute vary. For example, height. Height is an attribute and person to person height vary. We don't have same height for all the person. So it vary. So height is a variable. Hair color. Hair color, it is a attribute and person to person hair color will vary. Some may have black color, some may have brown color, some may have white color like this. Then gender. Gender is an attribute. One person may be female, one person may be male. So gender is a variable. Likewise, you can find many variables in the world. Statistics is dealing with those variables. These variables are denoted using capital English letters like capital X, capital Y, capital Z. We can denote here height as capital X, hair color as capital Y. We can denote gender as capital Z. So variables are denoted using English capital letters. Then data. We can define data as observed or recorded value for a variable. Or data can be defined as facts and figures collected, analyzed, and summarized for presentation and interpretation. We use small letters like simple X and simple Y to denote this data point. So assume these are the collected weight from your batch. So first value is 48. This 48 I can denote as X, simple X1 equal to 48. So simple X we use to denote the data point. Then simple X2 is 59. Likewise, this data point, so these included in the variable X, that is weight. So weight X, variable X has different data. What are those data? X1, simple X1 is 48, X2 is 59, likewise. After processing this and analyzing this data will become useful information, which can be used in decision making. In previous example, you see that how those collected data became information which can be used in the decision making. So data, after analyzing and processing, those will become useful information. Then population. Third definition is population. Population is entire set of observation under study or collection of person or objective under study. It includes all the data data related to our problem. Assume I want to find the income of Sri Lankan. Income of Sri Lanka. Then my question is related to income of Sri Lanka. So my population include each and every individual in Sri Lanka. If I want to know the weight of fish in Nurava tank, then my question is related to weight of fish in Nurava tank. So my population include each and every fish in Nurava tank. So each and every thing or objects or person should include in the population. I have given several examples. Assume you want to know the water quality of given well. So your question is related to water quality of that well. So your population include every drop of water in that well. The descriptive summaries or summary measures of population are called as parameters. Assume in simple case, I want to know the height of student in your class. So my population include each and every student in your class. If I measure height of each and every student in your class and calculate the mean, it is a summary of population. We call those summaries as parameters. We use Greek letters to denote these parameters. For example, population mean denoted using mu, and population standard deviation denoted using sigma. Population variance denoted using sigma square. Okay, then sample. Sample can be defined as part or subset of the population. When you draw sample, that should be representative of the population. That sample should represent the population. The sample represent the population, we call that sample as unbiased sample. Otherwise, we call that sample as biased sample. In order to draw valid conclusion about the population parameter, we need to draw unbiased sample from your population. In our previous example, from your student population, we selected 30 students. 30 students. This is my sample for that study. And that 30 students should represent this population. If I selected all the shorted 30 students for this study, it is not representing the population. It is biased sample. If I selected most highest 30 students, then it also not represent my population. It also biased sample. Instead, we can select sample representing your population. We have sampling technique to draw unbiased sample from the interested population. We will learn those sampling technique later. Descriptive measures of this sample we called as statistics. We had population there. There we have had population parameters, population mean, population variance, population standard deviation. We had parameters. From this population, we drew sample. Descriptive measures of this sample we called as statistics. We use English letters to represent these statistics. For example, mean, sample mean denoted using X bar, and sample variance denoted using S square. Sample standard deviation represented using simple S. In pictorial form, I can represent population, sample statistics in this way. This is my population part or subset selected from this population called as sample. This sample summaries we called as statistics. We use English letters, simple English letters to denote these statistics. Similarly, we can we can get the summaries of population. We call those summaries as parameters. Those parameters represent using Greek letters. If I look at one example, assume I want to know the milk yield of cows in our faculty farm. Totally, we have 10 cows in our faculty. So my population include all milk yield of all the 10 cows. If I calculated that mean of those milk yield of 10 cows, it will be equal to 5.3. I can represent it as it using mu. That means population mean milk yield of this cow is 5.3. Instead, if I give a sample of three cows from this population, this 3 cow refer to sample that is a subset of our cow population. If I calculated sample mean of this 3 data point, it is called as the sample mean. It is a statistic. Sample mean is a summary measure of the sample. It is a statistic. We use English letter simple X bar to represent this sample mean. Then critical part of statistic include an understanding use of statistical technique. When to use each statistical technique. You can cram and remember formulas and calculate statistics, but it will not match or suitable to the given situation. So critical part is understanding when to use that statistics. Some method will not appropriate for some situation and will be appropriate for some other situation. So you have to clearly understand requirement to apply each statistical method. That is critical. So if you didn't understand those concepts and blindly apply those statistical technique, it will be very incorrect and you will not be achieve your goal. Your interpretation will be wrong. Therefore, try to understand when to use those statistical techniques. That is very critical. Two most important factors determining the appropriate statistical method to be used are type of data. Depending on the type of data, suitable statistical method is varied. Then second one is information needed. Depending on the type of information, we have to use appropriate statistical technique. So then you have to get an idea about type of data available for statistician, type of data available for researchers. Next, we will move to understand what are the type of data available for us to analyze. Data can be categorized based on method of data collection. Based on method of data collection, we can categorize data as primary data and secondary data. Also, data can be categorized based on nature of data. Nature of data into two, that is qualitative data and quantitative data. We will see what are those. Primary data, that is classified based on the method of collection, is defined as data collected specifically for the problem in hand or for the present study by the researcher himself or enumerator employed by the researcher himself or some other person employed by the researcher in order to collect the data in order to present study. So that type of data we called as primary data. These data are more reliable because those are collected by researcher or his assistant, and these are collected for the present problem, and up to date. So these data are more reliable, but may take more time to collect these type of data, and it involves high cost. Assume someone want to collect data from paddy farmers from all over the Sri Lanka, then he need to travel and meet each and every farmer. And in order to travel, it have to bear high cost and need more time. So collecting primary data is costly and time consuming. Then secondary data. Secondary data defined as the data collected for some other purpose. The researcher can get data from other organization, from the Department of Census and Statistics or Department of Agriculture, or from a friend who did similar study. So those data we called as secondary data because those are getting from secondary source, and it is not collected for the present problem. Even we can get data set that researcher collected for some other study. Same researcher collected data set for some other study, and he can take that data set for present study, but it will not be primary data. It is secondary data because it has collected for some other purpose. These data are inexpensive and quick to obtain because we don't need to go to field and we don't want to travel. What we can do is we can give a call and ask, please email me the data set. Likewise, it is not expensive and quick. Sometimes some data may download it from web, but one limitation of that data is, another limitation is there may not be suitable data source. In some situation, you may need to go to field and collect those type of data. Then, based on the quality of data, you can categorize into two groups, qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative data are data which identifying the quality of a variable. These data cannot be quantified, and we cannot calculate summary measures using this data. For example, we cannot calculate mean, median, mode of this data. We cannot do calculation. Example, hair color. Hair color may be black, brown, white. Likewise, we cannot find the mean hair color. What is the mean hair color? Then blood type. There are four blood types, and we cannot find the average of those four blood types. Likewise. Then quantitative data. These data measure how much or how many can be quantified. For example, height. Height we can quantify. Height is 5 feet and 6 inches, 7 inches, 5 feet and 6 inches, 7 feet, 4 feet, likewise. Weight also can be quantified, 50 kilogram, 20 kilogram, 35 kilograms, likewise. We can get the summaries, we can do calculation with this data, this quantitative data. Quantitative data also can be classified into two groups. Those are discrete data and continuous data. Discrete data mean those are occur in categories, masses. For example, number of fruits in a tree. It may be 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It cannot be 1.5, 1.25. Then number of plant inflected, maybe 1 plant, 2 plant likewise. It cannot be 1.75 plant. So those type of data we call as discrete data. Other type of data we called as continuous data. This data measure in continuous scale. For example, if we consider one variable weight, this weight, assume 5 feet and 6 feet. Weight may be 5 feet and 6 feet. There can have measurement between these 5 and 6. It can be 5 feet and 1 inches, 5 feet and 2 inches, 5 feet and 3 inches likewise. In between these data point, it can have values. In discrete case, in between 1 seed and 2 seed, it cannot have 1.5 seeds, 1 and 2.5 seed. Likewise, it cannot have intermediate value in discrete case. All data that are the result of counting we call as discrete data. All data that are result of measuring we call as continuous data. Then this is the primary classification of data.